Welcome to the mysterious 70s, an era when belief in the unknowable and psychic abilities was at its peak. During this time, American society was gripped by excitement over unidentified flying objects, UFOs, as well as people claiming to possess psychic and telepathic abilities. Psychic phenomena and consciousness experiments became an integral part of the cultural panorama of the time. In the 1970s, the phenomenon of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, reached its peak of popularity, generating enormous public interest and stimulating a wave of research and debate. This period was marked by many mysterious cases and alleged encounters with alien beings, creating a mystical atmosphere and raising questions about the nature of these phenomena. One of the most famous and counter-verisimilitude cases in UFO history is the Roswell, New Mexico incident in 1947. The military initially claimed to have discovered the wreckage of a flying disc, but later retracted their claim, claiming that it was the remains of a weather apparatus. In the 1970s, the incident was again talked about, and many researchers and enthusiasts began to investigate and debate its true nature. In 1973, a major UFO phenomenon occurred in the Pskov region of the USSR, which became one of the most famous cases in the country's history. Thousands of witnesses reported sightings of mysterious luminous objects in the sky moving with unusual speed and behavior. The case caused a wide public outcry and stimulated discussion about the nature and origin of UFOs. During the 1970s, many other UFO sightings were reported around the world. Eyewitnesses reported strange objects in the sky, mysterious lights and fixed points that looked unusual and could not be explained by traditional methods. These cases became a subject of interest to many researchers and enthusiasts who sought to unravel the mysteries of UFOs. Overall, the 1970s were a time of considerable interest in the UFO phenomenon, and many mysterious cases caused a wide public outcry. These events have left their mark on history and continue to raise questions and debates about the nature and origin of UFOs. In the 1970s, the world was immersed in a mystical atmosphere, thanks to the growing interest in psychicism and telepathy. This period was marked by a significant number of people claiming psychic abilities and the ability to understand without words. Here are a few facts and specific examples from this time. In the 1970s, many people claimed psychic abilities and the ability to foresee the future. One of the famous psychics of that time was Jacqueline Stallone, who became famous for her predictions and consultations with celebrities and politicians. The popularity of psychics and telepathy led to the emergence of numerous television programs devoted to the subject. One of the most famous was the show Believe It or Not, where psychics demonstrated their abilities in front of a large audience. In the 1970s, many researchers and scientists conducted experiments to study psychic abilities and telepathy. They used various methods such as conducting tests to predict the future, reading minds, and communicating without words. Psychics and telepathy became part of the public interest in the paranormal in general. During this time, people were actively studying various aspects of the paranormal, including clairvoyance, predicting the future, and telepathy. Many people in the 1970s recounted their personal experiences and stories related to psychic and telepathy. They shared how they used their abilities in their daily lives and how it affected their relationships and decisions. Overall, the 1970s was a time of intrigue and fascination with the world of psychic and telepathy. These phenomena attracted the attention of the general public and became the subject of research and debate, confirming the public's interest in the mysterious aspects of the human mind and abilities. The 1970s witnessed a surge of interest in paranormal phenomena, sparking lively debates both within the scientific community and among the general public. Numerous studies were conducted in the realms of extrasensory perception, telepathy, and UFO research, fueling discussions about the nature of such phenomena and their scientific significance. In the 1970s, interest in mysticism, esotericism, and alternative methods of predicting the future was quite high. many people turned to various methods of divination, including the use of cards, such as tarot, and other mystical practices. Here are a few ways people could divine with cards at the time. Tarot is a deck of cards consisting of 78 cards, each with its own unique meaning. Divination using tarot cards is called tarot divination or tarology. The fortune teller usually shuffles the cards, asks a question or focuses on a particular situation, then arranges the cards in a particular layout, and analyzes their meaning and the relationships between them to predict the future. In addition to card divination, there were other popular methods of predicting the future and obtaining mystical information in the 1970s. Here are some of them. Astrology was and still is one of the most common methods of predicting the future. In this practice, astrologers analyze the positions of the planets at the time of a person's birth or at a particular point in time to draw conclusions about their character, destiny, and possible events in their lives. Runes are symbols used in ancient Germanic and Scandinavian religions and mystical practices. Fortune-telling on the runes involves selecting a random set of runes and interpreting their meaning in the context of a particular question or situation. Crystal divination. This is a method of divination using crystals or gemstones. The fortune teller usually concentrates on the crystal, asks a question or focuses on a situation, and then interprets the answers or signs they see or feel through the stone. On coffee grounds. This method involves divination on the leftover coffee in a cup. After the coffee is drunk, the remaining residue is seen as symbols or signs that can give insight into the future. Numerology. This is a practice based on the interpretation of numbers and number combinations. Numerologists believe that numbers contain information about a person's character and destiny, as well as possible events in their life. These methods of divination were popular in the 1970s and continue to attract interest today. Each offers its own unique approach to predicting the future and obtaining mystical information. Belief in ghosts and hauntings among people in the 1970s, as at other times, was widespread, though not uniform. During this period, interest in the paranormal, including ghosts, was fueled by many factors. The 1970s was a time of significant growth in interest in the paranormal in the culture. Movies, television shows, books, and comic books often touched on the subject of ghosts and abnormal phenomena, which may have stimulated people to think about these issues. This time also saw an increase in the popularity of esoteric teachings and new religious movements, many of which included teachings about the spirit world, ghosts, and contact with the other world. Many people experienced strange or unexplained phenomena at various times in their lives, which they interpreted as encounters with ghosts or spirits of the dead. Such personal experiences may have reinforced the belief in the existence of anomalous phenomena. Although many scientists are skeptical of the idea of ghosts and apparitions, studies have been conducted to try to explain these phenomena scientifically. However, research on these phenomena has remained largely controversial and ambiguous. Thus, belief in ghosts and hauntings in the 1970s was part of a wide range of cultural, religious, and personal factors that shaped people's worldviews during this time. In conclusion, the 1970s in America represented a fascinating era filled with mystery, strangeness, and incomprehensible phenomena. Belief in UFOs, psychics, and telepaths became an integral part of the cultural landscape, reflecting society's interest in the unknown and mysterious. This era left an unforgettable mark on history, reminding us of man's eternal quest to understand the world around him and his place in it. Thus, the 1970s remain not only a historical period, but also a time of inspiration, provoking us to reflect on the limits of our understanding and the nature of the mysterious.